disappointing finishes to start the year. Now, I don't know for sure whether these two ultra-tough Dodges will win today at Martinsville, but I can guarantee you one thing, we'll have an 8th consecutive different winner today.
Big-time Martinsville experience in row number 9. Both drivers guaranteed to race to the front. Why? Because one of them is Robert Presley, and the other is none other than DW. Wait a minute. Didn't he retire? DW, shouldn't you be doing that TV thing?
Hey, girl, there's just something that people love about a pickup man, you know. How about that opening? You want to roll that? You want to see something? Look at this.
Nestled in the hills of Southern Virginia is a short track that has seen some of NASCAR's best racing for over 50 years. Martinsville has hosted 7 Truck Series races, producing 7 different winners. It takes talent, tenacity, and a tenderfoot to tame this half mile, and no one knows better than this NASCAR legend who returns today.
You know those little racetracks, people all around you, everybody's bumping into each other. This is where you got to think, you got to react, you got to respond, you got to anticipate. Short track racing, it's intense.
ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, presents NASCAR. Today live from historic Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, we present the 8th running of the Craftsman Truck Series Advanced Auto Parts 250. After just 2 events in 2002, Ted Musgrave and Robert Presley are dead even atop the points, followed by 2 first-year full-timers, Brian Rose and David Starr. Just 21 points separate the second 5. Carlos Contreras back to John Wood. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Busch Series and Winston Cup veteran Phil Parsons. Glad to have you with us. And Phil, Muhammad Ali proved it could be done. Come out of retirement and beat the youngsters. Michael Jordan's knees wouldn't withstand the whole year, but on a given night, he was still magnificent. And no doubt in his prime, Darrell Waltrip was the master of Martinsville. My question is, will we see the Darrell Waltrip of old today?
Doc, not only would it not surprise me to see Darrell run well, I fully expect him to run well. He's won 11 times on this racetrack in a Winston Cup car, and he was the 2nd fastest truck in the final practice session.
The 35 other drivers will be on their toes. The fans will be on their feet because everyone here believes that Franklin, Tennessee's finest will give us one final curtain call to remember. Take a look at our starting grid. Ultra Motorsports teammates Ted Musgrave and Jason Leffler made a Dodge sweep of row 1. Winston Cup car owner Andy Petrie makes his Craftsman truck debut with an impressive start inside row 2. Last year's Martinsville runner-up and Rookie of the Year Travis Quapple starts 5th. It's an all-Ford row 4 with Terry Cook, flanked by John Wood, and Chicago native Bobby Donner logged his best qualifying effort of the year to start his Chevrolet in 10th.
Tremendous amount of experience back in row number 9. Again, co-point leader Robert Presley in 17th. A lot of Busch and Winston Cup experience. And old DW back in 18th. Doc, they won't stay back there long.
3 very competitive trucks toward the back as well. How about Randy Tolzman, Matt Crafton, who finished 5th and 6th here a year ago? They'll make a move early. Dennis Setzer's 5th fastest qualifying effort disallowed. He starts back in 33rd. And just the 2nd ever woman to compete in series history, Angie Wilson starts her Dodge back in 34th position. There were 47 trucks here to qualify. These 11 drivers missed the field and had to go on. Now let's meet the 5 drivers up close and personal who will carry our onboard cameras here today.
Hi, you're with Dennis Setzer and the number 46 Axiom Computer Associates Chevrolet. Hang on for a fast ride. Hi, I'm Ken Schrader, and you're riding along with me in the Federated Auto Parts Chevrolet. Buckle up. Gets pretty exciting out there every once in a while.
Hi, this is Bill Lester, driver of the number 8 Bobby Hamilton Racing Dodge Motorsports Ram. Come on along with me and roll, because we're going to go straight to the front.
Hi, I'm Jason Leffler, driver of the Team ASC CarQuest Dodge. Hang on to your roll cage.
Hi, I'm Ted Musgrave, driver of the number 1 Dodge Mopar, and I'll tell you what, stay there because you're going to see some things you've never seen before.
Glad to have you with us, getting set for history being made out of retirement. DW, here they come, rumbling to the green flag. NASCAR's Craftsman trucks at Martinsville.
Jason Leffler jumped on the throttle at the start of the green flag, and he spun the wheels and allowed Andy Petrie to pull up beside him. Now Andy Petrie is in the 2nd position.
We mentioned Andy Petrie's very first ever NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series start. Got Craftsman on board as an associate sponsor. Primary sponsor there is Green and Green on his Chevrolet. Leffler back in third. They are side by side for fourth spot.
Travis Quapple in the 60 truck on the inside and Rick Crawford on the outside. There's Terry Cook sticking his nose up there beside Rick Crawford.
And Cook will take the spot away from Crawford. Crawford slides right in front of Mike Bliss. And Darrell Waltrip spins down on the inside of the racetrack here on lap 3. And that will bring out the caution flag. First caution flag today in the Duckhead Footwear Dodge. Darrell gets it refired, and he will hustle to get back. As the field slows down, he jumps back in gear.
You can see a little damage there on the left rear, right in front of the rear tire. So I'm sure there was a little contact there, and it turned Darrell around. There you see the damage right there, right by the Mopar insignia on the side of the truck.
Maybe got a little help there going into turn 1. Darrell was a little concerned about starting back in the pack with some lesser experienced driver. We'll see what happened.
That's Morgan Shepherd, the 21 truck on the inside. Darrell's trying to make a move on Carlos Contreras. Yeah, contact right there. It's a little early to make a 3 wide. Morgan jumped on the inside. Darrell was already on the inside of Carlos Contreras. They ran out of room, made contact, and around Darrell went, but fortunately no contact with the inside wall. You saw Morgan Shepherd right against the inside wall, so he really couldn't turn left. Once he committed to the inside, he really couldn't turn left to get away from Darrell, so that's why they made contact.
Let's check in the pits with Amy.
Well, so far the word over the scanner, as DW says, truck feels okay. The crew, although, is ready in case they decide to bring him down. The other comment on there was that this may have been a spotter's error. He said, spotter never told me he was down there, but then I felt him, and at that point, it was too late. You guys are right. 3 wide just does not work here at Martinsville.
And surprisingly, Amy, the 2 most experienced drivers in the field, Morgan Shepherd, who's a 5-time winner in Martinsville, and of course an 11-time winner, Darrell Waltrip, were the 2 involved in this first incident here on lap number 3.
Morgan Shepherd won his first Winston Cup race here at Martinsville back in his rookie season.
Morgan has 2 late model sportsman victories, 2 Busch Grand National victories, and you mentioned that win in Cliff Stewart's Pontiac back in 1981. There is Morgan Shepherd, who hopes to run the bulk of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series this year.
Pretty good qualifying effort for Morgan. He qualified 16th with his own equipment, very, very much underfunded.
There you see 7-time pole sitter, 4 Winston Cup wins. I mentioned this truck that DW is driving today, owned by Jim Harris, Mark Melling, and Stacy Compton. As you look at our leader, there is Ted Musgrave. There is the Duckhead Dodge. Same truck that Stacy Compton put on the pole at Phoenix last year. Finished 4th out there. And the fans have filed in here. They are on their feet. They have the signs up, cheering on their favorites. Here comes Musgrave, down for the green flag on the restart.
Most of these guys will want to run right on the bottom of the racetrack, Jerry. Early on especially, there you see some side-by-side racing. That's Kevin Harvick, the 6 truck on the inside, Lance Norrick on the outside. Right now especially, before they put some rubber down on the outside, the inside is the place to be.
And a little contact there. Lance Norrick and the 08 of Bobby Dodd are getting together. Right behind him, you see the Federated Auto Parts machine of Kenny Schrader. His 2nd of 10 starts this year. Now Schrader looks to the high side of Bobby Dodd.
Billy Lester right there sideways into his teammate there, Robert Presley.
Billy Lester, a rookie here in NASCAR Craftsman Trucks. That's the 18th or the 8 truck. Robert Presley is the 18 truck. There is Presley making a move after his qualifying effort logged him a 17th place start. He is now being shown in 14th position.
Pretty good progress for so few green flag laps here at Martinsville. We might need to make mention that Brendan Gaughan had an engine change, so he had to give up his 32nd starting position to go to the very back of the field to start. And also Jerry Hill started the truck that Randy Renfro qualified.
There's Billy Lester. You see him get sideways and just trying to catch the truck. He runs into the outside of his teammate, in the inside of his teammate, Robert Presley.
Robert says, hey, buddy, same team here, same team. Like they're battling for a rebound there.
Robert expects that contact, but not from his teammate.
And here are the 3 trucks I told you to watch early on. There's Dennis Setzer. Right in front of him is Matt Crafton, and right in front of him is Randy Tolsma. 3 veteran drivers. Tolsma finished 5th last year. The Menards truck right in front of you, do you see there, finished 6th. That is Crafton, and Setzer had trouble here a year ago in lap number 10. He had a rear end come away, but Setzer, a very fast truck in qualifying, had to go to the back of the pack. His qualifying time disallowed because the right front spring was too tall.
Talked to Dennis right before the race. He said, I have a great truck. I hate we're going to have to start at the back, but he said, if I can just use my head, keep my nose clean, he said, I think I'll be able to get to the front without too much trouble. And Matt Crafton, the truck he just passed, was the 4th fastest truck in happy hour. So this is some pretty good trucks he's with right now.
Now he pulls up right on the rear of the Team Marine Chevrolet. Randy Tolsma back racing in NASCAR's Craftsman Truck Series, driving for Ed and Sam Renzi. Kevin Cram, the crew chief for Tolsma. Randy ran 15 times a year ago and then moved full-time in the NASCAR's Busch Series. Been missing a sponsor, been hoping to get back in. Team Marines came on board.
Great to have Randy and Team Renzi back in the Truck Series.
Absolutely. Great to have them back here. There's Tolsma and Setzer, who are both on the move. Tolsma's gained 6 spots so far, up to 25th, and Setzer also right behind him. They're picking their way toward the front.
Dennis has a nose to the inside there in the preferred line. Randy gives him room and lets him get on the inside.
Now he will let Setzer go by, maybe let Dennis Setzer plow his way through, and Randy will follow him right back in line. So it'll be Setzer, Tolsma, then Crafton, who gives Tolsma a little bit of a bump out of turn 4.
Matt said, I wanted to get on the inside too.
3 hungry race car drivers. Crafton has never won. He was a rookie a year ago. Setzer is a winner on the circuit, a 6-time winner, and Tolsma a 2-time winner.
Their leader, Ted Musgrave, looking out from the front of his low-power truck, already in the traffic. That's Jerry Hill on the outside in the 79 truck.
Lonnie Richardson on the inside in the 73 truck.
And great camera shots. There's the Mopar Dodge. Clean racetrack right in front of Ted Musgrave here in the early laps of the Advanced Auto Parts 250. It is Musgrave, Petrie, Leffler, Waffle, and Cook. Our live coverage of NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series action from Martinsville is being brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Craftsman, the official tool of NASCAR and the NHRA, celebrating 75 years of making anything possible. And by the Federated Auto Parts professionals in your neighborhood. Well, we are under caution for the 2nd time of the day. An incident out of turn 4. There's the MB&A Chevy. Coy Gibbs' truck spinning out of turn 4. He spun around. He might have had a little help from behind in getting tapped. And here's what happened behind him. Randy Tolsma getting slowed down. He gets tagged from behind by Matt Crafton, who spins Tolsma around. Tolsma slowing down to try to avoid the Coy Gibbs spin. And the bad part was that Gibbs and Tolsma both getting righted, but Musgrave came by and put both those trucks a lap down. Let's check in with Amy Eaves.
Well, the word down here in Coy Gibbs' pit is that he said he has no damage. They came down pit lane, gave him 4 fresh tires and fuel, and through chatter over the radio, they seem to think that the whole chain reaction of events started because of a lapped truck. Now, I couldn't see that, but that just seems to be what they think might have happened. So they're not blaming each other, that meaning the 61 of Tolsma or the 20 of Gibbs, blaming each other or even blaming Crafton for that matter. So they seem as though it's just a tight little bull ring racing so far here at Martinsville.
Yeah, as Amy mentioned, Coy Gibbs had a little help there. Got turned around there. Matt Crafton had nowhere to go. Randy slowed down. He saw it first, obviously, and he got slowed down, and Matt bumped him in the back. Again, I'm sure Randy does not hold that again. That's just short track racing.
That's right. They were nose to tail and a couple inches apart. And now they're set for the restart. And Randy Tolsma will try to close it up. And he made a pit stop, by the way, the 2-time short track winner. So he will try to get up and get back on the lead lap, try to get by Ted Musgrave if he can. There's the Menard Chevrolet, Matt Crafton. Both he, Tolsma, and Setzer were making the move. They'd already gained about 7 or 8 spots. So
coming to the green. Line to the flag stand.
Tolzman was not able to pull up right beside Ted Musgrave for the restart. There were a couple lap trucks that we had seen earlier, the 79 truck and the 73 truck, that restarted on the inside line, so that did not allow Randy Tolzman to get right up at the front of the field.
And Angie Wilson is also there in the nutritional pit stop dodge. Behind her, her teammate in the 51 truck, Michael Dock, and a couple of the Rick Ware machines.
We go 3 wide again, Doc. Watch out, Kenny.
And Schrader gets sideways, and he gets tagged by the aid of Bill Lester is involved, and that will bring out caution for the 3rd time today. Kenny Schrader's Federated Auto Parts.
Okay, Fat Boy, what's the damage here?
Pretty good damage to the front end of Billy Lester's truck. The rear damage won't make a whole lot of difference, but the front damage certainly could.
And there's Bill Lester trying to get that Dodge refired.
Anytime you get like it, Bill, just jump the clutch out and spin it around. You ain't gonna hurt nothing.
So here Bobby Hamilton spotting for Billy Lester.
Bobby Hamilton, of course, the team owner.
I can't start it for some reason. I don't know what's up. It will not start. You probably had it flooded.
As Bobby Hamilton said, you probably had it flooded. You get a lot of raw fuel when the truck stalls like that. You get a lot of raw fuel dumped inside the engine, and that floods it.
Bill Lester had a great run in Daytona in his debut here for the full-time ride.
Nothing to do with luck, bud. You need to come in this 6th time.
We talked about 3 wide racing. We saw the 3 wide racing back here. Look, there's the 81 truck right in the middle. They're split by the faster trucks. You see Kenny Schrader on the inside. He's trying to make it by before they get to the corner. Does not quite make it. Makes some contact. Slides up into Randy Tolzma. And Randy just never could correct the truck. Got turned around, and Billy Lester with nowhere to go ran into Kenny Schrader.
Yeah, Lester had nowhere to go. He was pinned to the inside. There's Schrader trying to stay off of Tolzma. He gets the inside barrier, spins around, and that was the contact with Lester.
Saw the differential between Billy Lester and Carlos Contreras right behind him close up. Billy saw the accident again before in a chain reaction deal. Carlos actually pushed Billy into the accident. Again, nothing Carlos did wrong. It's just one of those things. Short track racing, Doc.
Absolutely. Short track racing, Martinsville, Virginia style. NASCAR Craftsman truck action all year long, just like that. Back with more from Martinsville in a moment. Well, Ted Musgrave was the man to beat in St. Louis last year, backed by his powerful Ultra Motorsports team. The day was dominated by Dodge. He'll be under a lot of pressure to repeat because the lineup of Truck Series talent will be waiting to make St. Louis their gateway to success. Join us for the Busch 200 in St. Louis on May 5th, 4 Eastern Time on ESPN. And back under green at Martinsville Speedway, there's Brian Rose and the Sunclear Energies Dodge.
Who is that, Bobby?
As DW goes by in the Duckhead Dodge, there's Brian struggling a little bit. Brian up in the points, actually 3rd in the overall point standings.
Brian had a couple of handfuls of steering wheel off of turn 2 on the last lap.
Brian making his first ever visit to Martinsville, Virginia.
Sure has his hands full. That truck looks awfully loose. I don't know if he maybe could have a tire going down, but
the truck is way out of shape.
And Brendan Gaughan in the Napa Dodge. He makes a move by. See what happened a moment ago to Brian Rose and in turns 1 and 2.
See him right there. That's going to be a little contact there between Lance Norick and Brian Rose. That's what sent Brian Rose around. But
he may have overheated his rear tires. That's why his truck has looked so loose for the last couple laps.
I think we're looking for Dennis Setzer there. Just got up in the loose stuff there and had to grab 3rd gear to get back going and let several trucks get by him.
And caution being shown by Alan Porter now for the 4th time today here at Martinsville. We are just to the 38 lap mark.
Brandon McDonald turned around down turns 3 and 4.
Great to see Randy back in that truck after missing almost the entire season last year with a neck injury.
Absolutely. Randy McDonough, we're talking about, driving the 72, the Greenfield Truck Center machine. He's tied for 12th in the points. Randy told me he fell off his mountain bike this week and bruised his shoulders. He was worried about running 250 full laps at Martinsville, but thus far he's done pretty well. All right, we are working caution for the 4th time today. We have yet to get to the 50-lap mark. This caution, the spin by the 72 truck. Back with more green flag action in just a moment. And back at Martinsville Speedway, our NASCAR coverage, exclusive coverage of the Craftsman Truck Series right here on the worldwide leader, ESPN and ESPN2. Glad to have you with us. I'm Gary Punch, along with Phil Parsons, Ray Dunlap, and Amy East. We're at lap 44 of 250 in the Advanced Auto Parts 250. How about the job that Andy Petrie has done? Andy Petrie, NASCAR Winston Cup car owner. He has made 5 Busch Series starts in his career, but he had never started the truck until today, and he is running in 2nd spot.
That's a tremendous job, Andy. Andy won a lot of short track races back around Hickory, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, back in the late 80s, early 90s, but has not raced that much. Maybe racing, he's probably averaged racing in the last 10 years once a year. And to come out here against this field and to qualify as well as he has and run as well as he has is amazing.
His best Busch finish came here. He actually drove the late Dale Earnhardt's Busch Series car here back in 1994 and finished 16th. He also had a 16th place finish at Rockingham back in '88, so he's run well on the short tracks, but full-time as a Winston Cup car owner for Bobby Hamilton, and he'll also have 2 cars, by the way, at Talladega next week, as they have Mike Wallace back in the 33 car.
Andy was my crew chief back in 1988 when he ran here and ran Rockingham his first race, and I spotted for him. And then back when he ran Dale Earnhardt's car, I remember that very well because he spun me out in that race.
Andy wouldn't do that. How about Jason Leffler, who was the pole sitter in that exact truck a few weeks ago at Darlington, and talking about spinning out. He had a heartbreaking spin in the late laps. He had probably one of the trucks to beat, but he's trying to make up for it today, holding strong here in 3rd spot. How about Travis Quapple, who finished 2nd here a year ago, as now Andy Petrie gets high.
You're talking about Andy Petrie making a mistake. Hey, Andy's got an awfully good truck. He hasn't made many mistakes in 49 laps, but he said his truck was a little bit loose in the center of the corner back on the throttle, so that's what looks like it happened. He got a little bit loose in the center of the corner, got sideways up out of the groove, and let a couple of guys get by him.
And there is Rick Crawford. Now he goes to the inside of Andy Petrie. Just like you said, the truck in the middle of the groove and up across the racetrack.
He just has to chase the truck off the bottom of the racetrack that allows these guys to get right on the bottom, hook the left front, and around they go.
Now he's in danger. Now he'll get a little pressure from the 16 truck. Mike Bliss. So you get what happened to Andy just a moment ago.
Jason Leffler looking. He's right in the center of the corner. See, he gets a little bit loose. He really started getting in the corner. He got a little bit loose. Had to chase the truck up the hill. That allowed Jason to get underneath him and get by.
And Robert Presley, our co-leader in points, is slowing down. Amy, what's the problem?
Well, it seems as though he's got a tire going down. As he hits the stop, yep, it's the left front tire. It's not going down. This thing is gone. They're changing right sides now, filling it with fuel. They're going to come around to the left. A little bit of trouble on the right front. Now they're hitting their marks on the left front. The tire completely gone. A lot of left side damage that occurred earlier through teammate Bill Lester when they had some contact. Don't know if that was part of this tire going down or not. Nevertheless, our point leader is having some trouble so far here at Martinsville.
Danny Gill and company there. They'll also, a lot of these teams getting some Winston Cup teams to help them, trying to pull that fender away. We just joined our coverage back early on. There was contact between teammates, the 18 and the 8, Bill Lester and Robert Presley, and we'll find out. Amy will check in her pits if that indeed may have been the problem that eventually cost that tire to have to come off that Dodge. Here's a battle in the racetrack. 33, Andy Petrie being shown back in 6th spot. Mike Bliss driving the IWX Freight Chevy for Steve Coulter. Looking to the inside, and right behind him, just being very patient, biding his time, is Kevin Harvick.
You see Andy Petrie again slid off the bottom of the racetrack. He's having trouble, especially down in turn 3 and 4. It doesn't appear to be as bad in turns 1 and 2. There's you see Robert Presley now, probably being shown a couple laps down anyway. 3 laps down for Robert Presley, our co-point leader.
And now Mike Bliss 7-time winner in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series competition. Now let's check back in with Amy, see what she found out about that contact on the Presley truck.
Well, I'm sure Bobby Hamilton won't like to hear this, but yes, indeed, the contact from the 8 confirmed through Roberts crew chief Danny Gill was the cause of the left front tire going down.
Well, that's happened before to teammates. Remember years ago in Winston Cup where Rick Hendrick had all 3 of his cars involved in an accident one time on the backstretch, had to separate his drivers. We chuckle about it, but if you're on those cars, it's not very funny to you.
That was a car owner's worst nightmare, just like this is Bobby Hamilton, the truck owner's worst nightmare. They have 2 of his trucks involved in an accident.
And Tom Powers is right there on the inside group. Here goes Bliss, be able to make it by Robert Presley. By the way, Presley being shown 3 laps back, now in 33rd position. And there is Angie Wilson. We talked about this young lady, 27 years of age, out of Marion, North Carolina. Started her career at age 13 in go-karts on the Pine Valley Speedway. It was a dirt track. Only other female to race, Tammy Jo Kirk, as you saw. Ran back in 97 and 98, ran 36 times. And Angie, by the way, will be here for the rest of the year, running for Ray Vestas Rookie of the Year. So great to have Angie on board, driving for Rick Ware.
We saw Andy Petrie lose another position to Kevin Harvick. That put Kevin up in 7th and Andy back to 8th. Andy looking at it back on the inside of Kevin Harvick.
Kevin said, whoa, now where'd he come from?
I thought he was a car owner, not a driver.
Andy says, I got to watch you race every Sunday. You get to pass my car, something I'm going to pass you back. All right, having some fun. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series now. Andy Petrie goes back by Kevin Harvick, but they're all chasing Ted Musgrave. Back in a moment. Back in Martinsville, Virginia, the top 2 trucks, they are the Team Ultra Motorsports teammates, Ted Musgrave, Jason Leffler. Right along with Jason Leffler on the Dodge Team ASE CarQuest machine. By the way, Musgrave has led all 66 laps thus far. There are the trucks 1 and 2 appropriately running 1st and 2nd. How about the 3rd place truck of Rick Crawford? Same truck he dominated Chicago with a year ago when he led 60 laps. There's the 14 truck of Crawford. And let's update him in the pits with Ray.
Well, Jerry, keep in mind it's been 100 races since Rick Crawford won back at Homestead in '98. But he is a former Martinsville winner. He won in an all-pro race here back in 1995. He says on the radio this is the best truck he's ever had. Now, the guy right behind him, Travis Quapple, is driving the same truck that he finished 2nd with a year ago here. Travis has said on the radio that the truck is pretty good coming off the corner, but a little bit loose in the center. So they are going to make a chassis adjustment whenever they pit. Now let's go to Amy.
Well, for the first time in almost a year, Terry Cook is not driving his favorite truck, which is a Laughlin Standard and called Lucky Dog. Instead, he chose the drop snout truck. So far, he says it's running well. He's a little loose in, so he's turned the brake bias up to the front in hopes that it helps. To Ray.
Amy, a brand new truck for Mike Bliss this weekend, one that they built in-house, but he's saying right now that the truck is very tight coming off the corner, so he really needs to make a chassis adjustment once we get a pit stop. Amy?
Well, how about that Winston Cup owner, Andy Petrie? He's admittedly, which I think is very big of him, saying, I'm just driving it in too hard, and that's why it's drifting up the track, and he lost those key positions a few laps ago. But so far, he's nice, calm, and cool, trying to focus on hitting his mark and not drive it in too deep lap after lap.
All right, thanks, guys. As the caution is out and our leader has spun up against the wall. Ted Musgrave's Mopar Dodge has spun down in turns 1 and 2. Musgrave whips it around, slims it back in gear, and he has some damage on that left rear, Phil.
He sure does, Doc. They're obviously going to have to make a pit stop and get that quarter panel off the tire, but some pretty good damage. You see the spoiler jacked around forward. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to do to the handling.
And we are told the 55 car may have been involved. There's Tom Powers, damage on the front of Tom Powers' machine. And Musgrave had led all 71 laps. This happened on lap 72.
Take a look at it. You see right there, that's Ted Musgrave right there. Oh, the 55 truck spun out. Ted Musgrave, oh, just got clipped by the 55, and around he went, backed into the wall a little bit. Here's Ted Musgrave from his onboard. You see him, he's going to see the 55 spin. He's going to try to go wide to get around him, and it just made contact and around he went. There you see the contact with the outside wall. The good news for Ted Musgrave is that he did not lose a lap.
And from the onboard camera, Jason Leffler just goes to the low side of the racetrack and misses the spinning Tom Powers machine.
Terrific move by Jason Leffler to avoid that.
Well, finally, Jason Leffler gets some luck. He's had bad luck the first two events of the year. Here comes Musgrave, Leffler, and the leaders on pit road at 35 miles an hour. Let's go down to Ray.
Well, Jerry, they're going to go to work on the right side first, but they know they've got damage on this left rear quarter. They're going to have to pull it out so they're able to get gas in and get it away from the left rear tire. Now, Ted starts to roll the truck forward a little bit. Now let's check in on the 29.
Well, Terry Cook's coming down. He's going to take not 2, but 4 tires. A little risky, I think, because this is not a Winston Cup crew. This is their regular truck crew. They've been... Oh, he almost got blocked in there. Almost got a little nudge from the 4. Brian Rose now hits his mark. He is indeed going to take 4 tires, and it looks like no chassis adjustments.
Apparently the 6 truck was in, guys, there. We did see him come off pit road. We'll check on that and find out what he did on his pit stop, but they do need to bring the 1 track back in because they did not get that fender pulled away enough.
Terry Cook, trouble with Terry Cook on the left rear, but now he's, a costly pit stop. Track position is huge at Martinsville, and Terry Cook has just lost a lot of it.
Doc, it's even worse than that because Terry Cook really pitted a lap later than a lot of the other lead lap trucks, so he really pitted a lap too late.
And here's Musgrave back in ready to get it fixed.
Well, Jerry, they did get the floor pulled away a little bit, but I wasn't able to tell because Ted pulled out of there so quickly whether they've done the job enough. But it's going to have to be enough now because they're getting ready to go back to green.
And Kevin Harvick on pit road. They're beneath the hood on Kevin Harvick. Ed Berriger, the crew chief down there. Some of the Winston Cup people are there. They're involved in also trying to help pit Kevin Harvick's car. As we are back to green flag racing here in the restart on lap 76. Jason Leffler and the lap trucks on the inside. That's Robert Presley 3 laps down. Tolsma is a lap down. Presley, there's some contact between he and Crawford.
Robert has fresher tires than Jason Leffler and Rick Crawford. He pitted around lap 50, so he's got several less laps on his tires.
Let's update what's happening in the Harvick pits with Amy.
Well, his temperature was running upwards to 215 degrees, came down, went under the hood. They found they had a plug wire off. So far, we've seen these guys like Waltrip, Musgrave, Presley, Harvick, all of these veterans that we thought would just be awesome here at Martinsville, having some tough luck.
And Kevin Harvick will be shown 2 laps back now, coming out of the pits in 28th position after having a great run and a 4th place finish at Darlington in his season debut this year in NASCAR's trucks.
How about Rick Crawford all over the back of Jason Leffler?
Now you heard Ray mention Rick Crawford has not won a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race in 100 starts. April 4th, 1998. It has been, almost exactly a little over 4 years since he has gone to victory lane, and he is hungry.
Well, there were a couple times last year, Doc, that we just knew he was going to win the race. And for various reasons, Dover last year, he had a problem on pit road, got penalized a lap. And you mentioned Chicago, what a good truck he had there. But Rick Crawford will win a race and will win one soon.
This truck Crawford's driving, I mentioned, dominated Chicago, led 60 laps, finished 5th there, finished 4th at Gateway in St. Louis. One of his better intermediate and short track trucks. And the man who's got the wrench, Rockin' Ray Stock, is making it happen. You're looking at Jason Leffler there, who's showing the way. Leffler coming full-time this year in NASCAR's Craftsman Truck Series.
Remember that 2 truck, that's the same team that carried Scott Ridge to his first Craftsman Truck Series victory right here 1 year ago.
Leffler's first 2 starts this year, he finished 11th at Daytona. He finished 30th at Darlington. And battle for 5th spot.
There's Dennis Setzer on the inside, the Axiom Chevrolet. Andy Peter on the outside. David Starr, the Spears Manufacturing 75 is going to take advantage and move by Andy on the inside.
Good move for David Starr. He started back in 25th position. Now Starr being shown in 7th spot. And another spin. Randy McDonald loops it around once again in the Greenfield Truck Center machine. And that will bring out caution number 6 on the day. Back with more from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia in just a moment. Back at Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia, there is Randy McDonald's Chevrolet that spun a moment ago and got lodged up on the yellow curbing on the inside of the racetrack when they had to have the wrecker service push him off here. Let's see what happened to Randy just to bring out caution number 6.
Just got in the corner a little bit too hard and lost the back end of the truck around it. No contact from anybody. Then unfortunately the truck stalled on Randy. He had to get a push.
And the Brendan Gaughan Napa Auto Parts Dodge had a problem just prior to McDonald spinning. In fact, on the other end of the racetrack, take a look at what happened to Brendan Gaughan.
Watch Brendan on the inside of 3 wide. They might have got into the curb. Watch this truck. This is going to be the save of the day so far, Doc.
He just rammed it back in the throttle and just bounced off the curb.
Great save by Brendan Gaughan.
And there's an oil leak on the Duckhead Dodge. Darrell Waltrip on pit road had moved all the way up into the top 15. We'll update what's happening with DW in just a moment. Back at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, I'm Jerry Punch along with Phil Parsons, Amy East, and Ray Dunlap. Glad to have you with us for live coverage of the Advanced Auto Parts 250. Jason Leffler is our leader as we approach the 100-lap mark. He is in the Team ASE CarQuest Dodge, but being dogged a half a truck length away by Rick Crawford in the number 14.
Rick looking for a way to get by Jason. Right now, Jason's truck's able to stay right on the bottom of the racetrack, so it's awfully hard for Rick. Look at, slid up, he left the door open a little bit.
And a little contact by Crawford. He gives him the old Martinsville nudge. Here, Leffler slides high, and Crawford has the door open.
Great short track move by Rick Crawford. See Mike Bliss trying to take advantage of it on the inside of the 16 truck.
And here comes Bliss, and he will go by on the inside. Look at the wheel marks on the side of Mike Bliss's brand new. You heard Ray Dunlap talk about it being a brand new truck for Steve Coulter and Dave Fuge and company. Bliss giving that truck a ride. Now Leffler back in 3rd spot.
Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge, 1, 2, 3.
Can't have better parity in that. Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge, 1, 2, 3. How about another Chevy back in 4th spot? That's the Cat Rental Chevrolet. Mike Addington owned machine. Rick Wren is the crew chief for Travis Quapple.
Great strong 2nd place run last year for Travis.
How about the Axiom Chevy for Dennis Setzer? All the way from 33rd starting spot. Setzer now being shown in 5th spot.
And look at his truck, Doc. Not a whole lot of damage. Dennis has used his head and been very, very patient.
How about the Spears Manufacturing Chevrolet for David Starr? This young man is a talent.
Talked to David before the race, Doc. He said, I had an awfully good truck. I screwed up qualifying. I couldn't get a hold of the racetrack. We've got a lot better truck than where we qualified.
From 25th all the way up to 6th, still making a move toward the front.
And how about this young guy back behind David Starr, Doc, in the 21 truck, running the 7th position?
This young guy right here, 60 years of age young. I tell you what, I don't care what the number says, Morgan Shepherd can still wheel a machine. Morgan Shepherd out of Conover, North Carolina, 4-time Winston Cup winner, 7 times a pole winner in Winston Cup. Still looking for the first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win. Now, speaking of youth, we got one youngster behind the wall, and Amy's standing by with him. Amy?
All right, youngster DW, what happened? And the second question, while you can hear me, is you didn't even make it to halfway, so that doesn't count. Are you going to come back and run another truck race with us?
I'd sure like to. This Duckhead Footwear Dodge is a bad, bad boy, I'm telling you. And it would have been really, it'd have been a piece of cake. Even though I got spun out there on the start, you know, went to the back, I told them, don't worry, we got them today, guys. Then a gear burn up. You know, I think in all the years that I've raced here at Martinsville, it's the first gear I've ever burned up. So, and on a day when I could have won, so that's unfortunate, but mission somewhat accomplished. Passed a lot of people, had a lot of fun. Walking out of here again, the redheads seem to be pretty happy. Maybe I can get a pass for another one somewhere down the road.
Well, the fans enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. You've got to come back and run another one with us.
Well, we'll have a vote on it. We'll have people vote on it. Maybe Stevie will let me.
Okay, well, I put my vote in, you guys.
I like IRP. That's a great place.
Oh, sounds good to me. Let's bring it on at IRP.
Right. Well, the redhead he's talking about is the boss. That's Stevie Waltrip at home. Here's what happened on the opening laps. A little contact. Morgan Shepherd, the 21, and DW. That's what he was talking about on lap 3, where he got spun out in turn 22. But he was doing a heck of a job.
He sure was. He got all the way back from going to the very tail end of the field back into the top 15 before he had his problem when he burned up a gear.
He passed 21 trucks to come from the back of the pack all the way in the top 15. So I got to believe we're going to see DW again. I hope so. Maybe so. IRP or Richmond or something.
That would be terrific. Great for the series.
And how about the Federated Auto Parts Chevy for Kenny Schrader, making his second of 10 starts this year. He'll also be with us in St. Louis coming up in early May. In fact, he's going to have Mike Wallace qualify this truck in St. Louis while Schrader runs the Winston Cup race in Richmond, and then drive out to Fly the next day out there and run the truck race with us.
We saw all the damage on Kenny Schrader's truck. We saw him earlier get involved and get turned around there when he tried to make it 3 wide. You see all the damage on the left rear quarter panel of that truck. We have a camera back there. I don't know. That camera, it better hold on for its life here. That camera might, it's still working.
Great camera shot. We don't have a guy holding that in the trunk, do we?
I don't think so. A little guy. A little Federated Auto guy.
Maybe that's T-Bone in the trunk. It could be T-Bone in the trunk. That's the Federated Auto Parts onboard camera. Hey, it's still working here. And how about Andy Petrie, our good old buddy Andy Petrie, Winston Cup car owner for the 33 and the 55 cars, qualified third. I hope Andy comes back too. He's having as much fun as he's having. He's going to come back.
I think so. I asked Andy right before the race. I said, can you possibly run some more? He said, well, we're going to see how today goes. But I know he's got having a lot of fun. Perrine's on board to help him with this effort. He said, I put Craftsman on because of all they've done for my Winston Cup program. I just put them on free of charge because of all they've done for my Winston Cup program.
That's pretty awesome there. Let's check in once again with Amy.
Well, like DW, Richard Landreth, you're out of the race. Great happy hour yesterday. A lot of laps at this track in the Long Brothers truck. What happened?
Something let go in the engine. We done made our first pit stop, and we was buying our way back up through the field. And I reckon a valve spring or something broke in the engine.
Well, just like last year, they ran you here again this year. How about some more appearances with us in this truck series?
I really like to. You know, I just can't get the funding up to do it myself. But I got to thank Romeo Guest. They really come along and help me out and let Charlie and Robert Long to. I got to thank them because they give me the opportunity to run the truck.
Okay, you guys. Well, it looks as though he's out for the day. We had another spin out there. No caution. Well, that's a good thing. Oh, now we've got some trouble with Randy Tolsma.
That is the Team Marine Chevrolet for Tolsma, the Ed and Sam Renzi machine. Tolsma coming back after missing the first couple events of the year, looking to hopefully run full-time. As we have 111 of 250 in the books, we are running near the halfway point. And they are chasing the Alabama Rocket, Rick Crawford, showing the way. Back with more live coverage in a moment. And back at Martinsville Speedway for all the news and notes about motorsports. How about RPM today? Tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Host Whit Watson will be there. Then Whit will be back at 10 Eastern time tomorrow night for RPM tonight. And, of course, weeknights, join our buddy John Kernan for all the news and notes on motorsports action around the world. RPM today, tonight, and, of course, weeknights at 6:30 Eastern time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Well, how about some race strategy unfolding? Let's check in down with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, I think Ted Musgrave may have already won this race today. He has made his way back up to 12th after the last pit stop, but guess what? That pit stop was on lap 88, and they say they have enough fuel. They do not need to stop again. Now, all the other guys that are up front, including Mike Bliss, Rick Crawford, and Jason Leffler, are screaming about getting new tires, and they're going to need fuel pretty soon. But Musgrave can go the distance. I think he may stay out if we get another caution.
That could be very interesting. They were talking about when the window opens up here. There's the new leader, Mike Bliss. Bliss last led a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at California back in October of 1999. He is back full-time. And here is Randy Tolsma, who has spun the Team Marine Chevy around, and that will bring out caution for the 7th time today. And Tolsma used Team Marine Chevy up across the curbing down in between turns 1 and 2 here on lap 122. So we are 3 laps shy of the halfway point.
Doc, we're going to see all the rest of the guys pit. What Ray was talking about with Bliss and Dennis Setzer, Rick Crawford, Jason Leffler screaming for tires. They're going to get their chance to get them. But if Ted Musgrave stays out, like Ray said, then he's probably going to inherit the lead, and then we'll see if these guys can get by him.
There is Tolsma's truck, I should say, getting back underway. Caution 7 times thus far, and we're just still laps shy of the halfway. Jason Small pulling up alongside. There is Mike Bliss, the leader, the IWX Chevrolet. Mike Dolan in the pace truck pulls on Mike Bliss, will lead him around, and we are anticipating pit stops if we have a chance. They've already gone by the pit entrance. You're wondering why they're not ducking on the pit road there. The pit entrance is actually over in turn 3. And the pits are closed. They have Don Barry over there waving that red flag. There's Don with a big yellow cross across it. That's the pit open and close sign. They will. And for those that haven't tuned in thus far this year, and we've only had 2 events, here are the new rules on pit stops in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. 4 tires can be changed. 7 crew members allowed over the wall. They must wear helmets. NASCAR's #1 priority on the track and off is safety. And teams are limited to, of course, 1 jacket, 2 air wrenches. And even the officials wear the helmets. They have ear protection there with the headset radios and the helmets. Trying to make sure everyone is as safe as possible.
We saw the green flag wave, so the pit road is open, and here come the leaders.
Here's Rick Crawford headed down to Rock and Ray Stockus. Let's head down to Amy.
Well, Rick Crawford has not had very much to complain about the entire time. In fact, he was thinking ahead for this race yesterday. During happy hour, he only went half of the time to try to save those all-important brakes, and it seems to be paying off so far. Goes around the right side tires. They're anticipating a 4-tire stop. Just behind him is the 33 of Andy Petrie, who again been screaming for those 4 tires, and he'll get them. Ray Dunlap.
Good pit stop so far for Mike Bliss's crew. We've got Dave Fuge on the front and a replacement tire changer, Gerald Shires, on the rear. And they are going to not make any adjustments. On the 2 truck over here, they got held up just a little bit. New 2-tire change right there. They did 4 on the 2. Back to Amy.
Well, Andy Petrie had some trouble. The trouble was getting into his box. The front of your truck must be in the box. Now, the right rear can be out, but the front must be in. And he was over the line, had to back up, then put the left side tires on. A costly stop for Andy Petrie.
And we are working caution for the 2nd time as we are at the halfway point, just past the halfway point of the Advanced Auto Parts 250. Back with more in a moment. And back in Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, there's Kenny Schrader in the Federated Auto Parts Chevrolet. Now, a moment ago, Kenny was on pit road, had to actually come back in because they had a problem in the pits with getting the truck fuel.
We saw the damage from that earlier altercation. You see, it's buckled the sheet metal right around the fuel filler. That's where the fuel filler is. You see the gas man right there. You see the catch man trying to lift that thing up and get the sheet metal away from the fuel filler so he can put it in there. You watch, you're going to see fuel splash. I say at this point, they're not going to know whether they got enough fuel in this thing or not.
And the catch can's not in. That's our onboard side camera that's right there back by the left rear tire. First time we've ever had a camera back there, and it's got a great view of them trying to get fuel in. Take a look at our Craftsman pit summary before and after their pit stops. See, Bliss came out 8th. Setzer lost 3 spots, but Ted Musgrave stayed out. You heard Ray Dunlap say they had pitted on lap 88, so he's going to stay out and try to win one here at Martinsville. 2nd page of our Craftsman pit summary. See, Kenny Schrader had to make 2 pit stops. He ended up losing 6 positions. Shepard lost 6 spots. Quapple lost 4. Terry Cook, great pit stop there for that team. They gained 5 spots. John Wood lost a spot. Let's check in at the Menards pit on the Matt Crafton situation, Amy.
Well, we had thought that Matt Crafton may have come down and taken 2 tires. Instead, crew chief Jerry Cook decided we're going to take no tires. They came down, they gave him a bunch of fuel, and Matt Crafton came out 2nd. Ray.
Amy, for the 60 truck, it was up 2 rounds on the track bar and 4 tires. Travis Popple says this truck is very, very good. We'll see how he restarts.
All right, guys, great pit strategy by Jerry Cook and company in the Duke Thorson pits for Matt Crafton. Musgrave stayed out. They're wrestling toward the front to try to stay on the lead lap.
Some of these guys are on the tail end of the lead lap. That's our leader right there, the #1 truck. Here he is, Ted Musgrave. The other trucks are laps down, trying to get laps back.
Our Mopar Dodge Mopar bumper cam, will they get used as a little bit of a bumper?
Look out, Ted, look out.
Ryan Rose.
That's the danger, Doc, when you use that front bumper to make you give you a little room. Watch this.
And Brian Rose goes right up into the side of Ted Musgrave. and runs him all the way up across the racetrack.
3 wide, you're good. 2 wide.
And meanwhile, Terry Cook has taken the lead. The 29 of Terry Cook is now being shown as our leader. Matt Crafton in second spot, pushing and shoving NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series style. And these fans are enjoying it here at Martinsville Speedway.
Great move by Terry Cook. The reason he got so much track position, he changed 2 tires on his last pit stop, we think. So that's why he jumped all the way up to the 3rd position on the restart. And then when Ted Musgrave was having his trouble, Terry Cook took advantage of it, grabbed the lead.
Power Stroke diesel colors for Terry Cook, who finished 3rd here a year ago. Terry started back in 7th spot.
There's another shot of what happened. Brian Rose on the inside goes in the corner very, very hard. Could not turn the truck down to the bottom of the racetrack. Forces Ted Musgrave up. You see Terry Cook, bottom of the screen, get by. And there's Matt Crafton also getting by Ted Musgrave.
All right, from the Musgrave onboard camera.
Watch here. He uses the front bumper to try to get Brian Rose out of the way. We go down to the corner. And Brian Rose says, I'm going to drive in this corner beside you.
And boom, there goes the camera. Brian Rose just took the camera completely out. So forget that side camera anymore, thanks to Brian Rose.
It was a good shot while it lasted, though.
Okay. Bill him for that, will you? All right, Terry Cook is our leader. Matt Crafton in 2nd spot. Ted Musgrave is 3rd. How about Leffler trying to hold off Dennis Setzer and David Starr? That's the battle. That's 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Good shot out of Dennis Setzer's windshield. Jason Leffler, the 2 truck right in front of him. Dennis has had a great truck all day. We've documented the fact that he started so far back, was able to work his way all the way up. Actually had gotten to the 2nd position prior to the last caution flag.
There's a look at Setzer, the Axiom Chevy. Same truck he finished 11th with at Darlington after qualifying 4th. Well, remember we had co-leaders in the point standings, Robert Presley and Ted Musgrave. Presley has also had his troubles today. Remember, he had to make an unscheduled pit stop early on. He had a tire going down. He hit it on lap 51, a left front tire down, so he lost 3 laps. He is being shown 3 laps down in 27th position. There's Bobby Dotter, currently being shown back in 15th spot. Pretty good run for Bobby. Great story on the side, sponsorship on Bobby's car. It's the Gold Creek Golden Retriever Rescue Foundation. The dog featured as Trooper. Basically, they rescue golden retrievers and nurse them back to health, and people can go in and adopt them. So that's on the side of that car. Gene Christensen, his truck owner, I should say, helping fund some of that foundation and some of that golden retriever rescue.
Good battle for 2nd, side by side. Matt Crafton on the inside. Ted Musgrave trying to make the pass on the outside. Was not able to do it that time. Look at Dennis on the outside. Dennis Setzer trying to make that outside work. Whoa, Ted Musgrave goes way wide. Lets his teammate Jason Leffler get by. And Dennis Setzer.
And Setzer will slide by on the inside. Here comes David Starr by. And Brendan Gaughan. What's going on with Musgrave? Remember, he hasn't finished his lap 88. That truck's way up across the racetrack. There was some contact. Here comes Mike Bliss by. So Musgrave is going backwards. We'll have our pit people check in the Musgrave pits, and we'll let you know what's happening with our co-point leader. Back with more from Martinsville in just a moment. And don't miss the True Value IROC Series 26 coming your way on Sunday, April 28th on ESPN. Join me along with Bob Jenkins, Scott Goodyear, and Winston Cup competitor Jeff Burton for round 2 of the International Race of Champions from Fontana. And that Sunday on April 28th, we got problems here in Martinsville as Brian Rose is going backwards out of turn 2.
He is definitely going the wrong way, Doc.
And Brendan Gaughan also has had some damage on his Napa Auto Parts Dodge.
Fortunately, got going right in front of our leader, Terry Cook, so he's going to stay on the lead lap.
There's Brian Rose of Sunclear Energy's Dodge. Ryan came in 3rd in the point standings. Has gotten it refired. Let's see what happened a moment ago to bring out caution number 8.
See Brendan Gaughan on the inside. He gets sideways. Nothing Brian Rose could do. He was on the outside, gave Brendan Gaughan plenty of room. Brendan got sideways on the inside and made contact with Brian Rose, and around Brian went, and Brendan also. Tough break for both these guys. You see Brandon on the inside, got a little bit sideways, got in the corner a little bit too hard, and as he slid up the racetrack, caught Brian Rose in the left rear quarter panel and turned him around.
And Ted Musgrave did a pretty good job. Boy, watch Ted Musgrave. He gets a whole windshield full of Brian Rose. There's Rose spinning. Musgrave, hang on, Ted.
Good job, Ted.
Nice job, Ted Musgrave.
I'm sure Ted would like a little less of this action he's seen. Very close.
He gets the Clean Laundry of the Week award. Boy, that would scare me enough. They shove Brian Rose back behind the wall. We'll talk to him in just a moment.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. Ted Musgrave brings his Mopar Dodge to pit road. He's having a bit of a brake problem. He says it feels like the right rear caliper is not working. So they're going to go under there, take a look at it. The crew is trying to get these fenders pulled away. They've got plenty of fuel in it. Musgrave said he does have brakes, but it just feels a little funny in the center of the corner. So they're going to take a look at that and see if they can do anything to fix that truck up.
All right, thanks, Ray. They're still working on the right side of Musgrave's truck. Others who have pitted just a moment ago included Andy Petrie, Kenny Schrader, Travis Quapple was in. The 68 truck on pit road, Rodney Sawyers, a rookie out of Ridgeway, Virginia. It has been a typical short track day here in Martinsville, Virginia. Let's bring you up to speed on what we typically see in NASCAR's Craftsman Truck Series. Take a look. DW gets a little bit of tap on lap 3. How about some dancing? Tolsma gets tapped from behind, slowing down for the 20 truck. Kenny Schrader gets a little tag and they jumble up behind him. Billy Lester involved. Tom Powers takes the leader out. Ted Musgrave in a spin and 1. Brendan Gaughan across the curve. Randy McDonald up across the racetrack. Now Gaughan again. Is he gone again? No, it's Rose. And look at Musgrave just missing the 4 truck. And folks, we still have 100 laps to go, and they're still working trying to fix trucks. As the Federated Auto Parts crew trying to get Kenny Schrader's rear tailgate bolted down as we are set for the restart.
Ted Musgrave's also still in the pit. These guys are going to have to hurry. They just restarted this race.
And contact on the restart. The 70 truck does not come up to speed. Billy Lester in the back. And the 61 is there. Tolsma. There's contact with Bliss. They are 3 wide on the back straightaway. That will not work.
It might work on the straightaway, but when they get to the turn, it doesn't work very well. Got a truck going around. Hold the brakes, hold the brakes.
Michael Dokken goes around. Trent Owens goes beneath. Sawyer goes high. And caution will come out again for the 9th time.
Carlos Contreras racing Terry Cook back to the line to get a lap back. Great heads up move by Carlos Contreras and his team. His spotter, I'm sure, said, hey, track's clear. Go get him, Carlos.
Absolutely. And a veteran crew chief, Howard Comstock, who running that operation for Richard Petty and the Hot Wheels team. Now here's the 1 truck, the Mopar Dodge of Musgrave, that was on pit road when the green came back out a moment ago. Right?
Well, Jerry, the right rear rotor is busted on the number 1 truck. They said the pad came out of there, and apparently that was the problem. When he hit the brakes the last time, it busted the rotor. So once again, Ted Musgrave is behind the wall. Remember, a year ago here, he had a rear end gear go out of the number 1 truck, and that put them behind the wall early on in the race. So today, they're behind the wall again. They're going to have to replace that right rear rotor.
Ted Musgrave, they have dual master cylinders on these trucks, so he probably just has front brakes. He can probably get by with maybe just front brake for the rest of the race, but he will not be up to speed as well as he could have been.
All right, Amy, what's going on with Brian Rose?
Well, it simply won't fire. 2 cautions ago, remember, Brian was part of that caution. He came silently rolling down pit lane into his pit. They sprayed a ton of ether into the grill. They can't get it to turn over, so it's typically a good race for Bobby Hamilton Racing. It's not proving true so far. To Ray Dunlap.
Well, Amy, Ted stayed out there on the racetrack, but the NASCAR officials have said you cannot stay on the racetrack. You must come in and replace that broken rotor because they do not want it to break completely apart and fall out and cause more damage for another truck. So the number 1 will be coming behind the wall this time.
And he's already being shown 3 laps behind. We are working caution for the 9th time of day. Michael Dawkins, truck number 51, spun around. Right now they're chasing Crook and Crafton at the top of the field. Back at Martinsville Speedway, the restart a moment ago. Terry Cook goes scooting away. Matt Crafton in 2nd spot. Dennis Setzer is 3rd. David Starr 4th. Less than 100 laps to go in Martinsville, Virginia. It's an overcast, cloudy day, but great crowd on hand, and they're enjoying beating and banging NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series style.
Look at the lead Terry Cook has right now, Doc. And that's because he was able to clear Robert Presley, who was the first truck on the inside line, and Matt Crafton was not able to. That's what gave him almost a 1-second lead. Watch out for Dennis Setzer, though. Here he comes.
Dennis Setzer, 3 of his 6 wins have come on short tracks, and we have a truck spinning around. That looks like Kevin Harvick in the 6th truck. KevinHarvick.com, and he put his fan club's name on the hood of that truck. He gets it righted, and we do not have a caution flag. No caution, so we stay under green. Cook, Crafton, Setzer, and Starr. That's the front 4.
Looking at out of Billy Lester's truck, little contact right there. Corey Gibbs, the 20 truck, got into the left rear of Kevin Harvick, turned him around, coming off turn number 4. Another incident, Doc, of short track racing.
Short track racing, and they've got a full weekend of it here at Martinsville Speedway. Terry Cook started back in 7th spot. He finished 3rd here a year ago. He has not won a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series event since August 8th of '98 at Flemington, 86 races ago.
And just as we're hearing the engine of Brian Rose fire behind us, we checked with Bob Keselowski on the strategy for that 29 truck. And they indeed, Phil, we heard you say earlier that you thought they may have taken 2 tires on that last stop. Indeed, they did. 2 right side tires. Let's not forget the 88 behind him took no tires, and that 46 of Setzer, well, he took 4. So we'll just see who's got the better rubber here in the final laps.
Now 2 tires, no tires, 4 tires. I'm going to ask you a question in a moment. Here's a pretty good battle here for 8th spot. John Wood is in 8th spot, and behind him Rick Crawford, Lance Norton, Rick Crawford for 9th.
Doc, I know what you're going to ask. With this many laps to go, would you rather be sitting in the lead with 2 tires, 2nd with no tires, or 3rd with 4 tires? With 70-some laps to go, I think right now I'd rather be in 3rd with 4 tires like Dennis Setzer is. But Scott Riggs ran the last over 150 laps last year on the same set of tires, and he won the race. So anything can happen.
And Goodyear has had a great tire here for a couple of years. In fact, we're missing one of our buddies from Goodyear who retired recently. He was a fixture, a major part of the success story for Goodyear tires in NASCAR.
Field manager Wayne Torrance retired after over 50 years with Goodyear. Doc, he beat me every time we ever played golf. Now that he was retired and has time to practice, I don't stand a chance.
He's probably somewhere on the golf course today. But Wayne, if we're listening, buddy, we miss you, buddy. Thanks for a job well done for 5 decades. There's John Wood in the U.S. Navy sponsored truck out of the Jack Roush stable, having a good run. John just from 25 miles away up in Stewart, Virginia. Started back in 8th spot, now being shown still in 8th. There's Lance Norrick, the Express Personnel Services Chevy for Lance Norrick. Lance in the number 90 truck being shown in 11th spot on the lead lap. There are still 15 trucks on the lead lap. Carlos Contreras back in 15th spot, and there is Andy Petrie. Pretty heavy damage on the front of his green Craftsman Chevrolet.
You see the water right there, so he's obviously busted the radiator.
Oh, yeah, a lot of damage.
There's Michael. There's the front end of...
so you wouldn't get in too hard. Yeah, it's too late. I'm already there.
Chevy Silverado, the Preenaway Weed Chevy. Michael Dockin also involved, as you mentioned. You said Kenny Schrader. There's Michael Dockin in the Rick Ware Dodge.
A lot of damage to the right side of Michael's truck. Tough break for Andy Petrie. He had a good, strong qualifying effort in third, ran in the top 10 all day, and unfortunately his day's going to come to an early end. But hopefully we can see that truck back at a few races later on.
I hope so. Andy had to have fun. He qualified so well and ran well. He climbs out. Let's see what happened from the Federated Auto Parts on board.
We're going down in turn number 1 right now. Andy got a little bit sideways. Oh, there's his contact with his buddy Ken Schrader. Ken used to drive for Andy.
Yeah, and they are great friends. And Kenny Schrader's, oh man, of all people to hit. And there's Andy Petrie climbing out. Great job, Andy. Didn't get to finish, but did a pretty good job. Back with more live coverage in just a moment. Ted Musgrave was the man to beat in St. Louis last year. Backed by his powerful Ultra Motorsports team today, was dominated by Dodge. He'll be under a lot of pressure to repeat because the lineup of Truck Series talent will be waiting to make St. Louis their gateway to success. Join us at Gateway International May 5th for the Busch 200 in St. Louis, 4 Eastern Time on ESPN. And by the way, they announced a rule change that will go into effect for that race today. A 2-inch kickout will be allowed on the Chevy, the front valence of the Chevrolet, starting with the next race. They had all 3 makes in the wind tunnel this past Tuesday. And the Wayne Auden and Gary Smith and company decided the Chevrolet needed a little bit of help, and they'll add a 2-inch kickout, moving the front valence out 2 inches on the Chevy.
That'll definitely help. We saw Ford last year get a little kick out on their front valence, and it really made a big difference. So right now we've got a Ford leading, and Terry Cook with that 2-inch front valence kick out.
9.
And let's update the pits. In the pits, right?
Well, Jerry, on lap 176, Jason Leffler came down, said his truck was very tight. They needed to put some right side tires on it, made a little air pressure adjustment. Also, Rick Crawford came down and he got 4 tires on this last pit stop. They did miss a lug nut on the right rear, so he had to come back down. Now we need to check in on Andy Petrie. I think Amy's caught up with him.
Well, I sure have, Ray. And Andy, after it was all said and done, you still have a smile on your face. And it was your old buddy Schrader that just popped you there at the end.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to tell me what I did wrong over there. I don't know what happened there. I got into somebody, or somebody got into me in 3 and 4, and I cut a left rear tire down. No experience. I'm coming down the straightaway. I knew something didn't feel just right. I got down to 1. I knew what it was in, and just, you know, no left rear, went around. I hate it. Schrader that had to get into me, and I'm sure I'm going to hear from him when it's over. But had a lot of fun, and I want to thank Spring for helping us do this deal, and Craftsman. It's a great series and a lot of fun. I'll tell you, I really love this truck race.
Enough fun. And you ran up front all day. Come back and run with us. What do you think?
Yeah, I might do it. Well, truck store, we've got a little work to do, and our main focus is our Winston Cup deal. So maybe down the road we'll get it fixed. We might come to another. But it sure was fun.
And tomorrow, you guys start second. Good luck to you in that Cup race.
Thanks. Yeah, the Snyder car's running really good. Looking forward to Bobby getting a win here tomorrow.
All right, Andy Petrie walks out of his truck with a smile on his face.
And a well done from us, Andy. Great crowd on hand. They're all chasing Terry Cook with great runs. How about Bobby Donner in 6th and Carlos Contreras in the top 10? Still more laps to come from Martinsville when we come back. NHRA Texas coverage coming your way. The O'Reilly Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil, qualifying tonight 7:30 Eastern Time. NHRA today, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Final eliminations tomorrow at 8 Eastern Time. NHRA action on ESPN2 for more. Log on to ESPN.com. Talk about a special day for so many drivers in NASCAR's Craftsman Truck Series. How about a special day for one of our own? Our chief spotter, Gary Bales, celebrated. We promised we wouldn't tell anybody, so don't tell anybody. He's 40 years old today. Gary Bell's our chief spotter, 40 years old. And by the way, my daughter, Jessica, 8 years old today. And the reason I remember those two together is because Jessica and Gary are the same height.
Exactly right. Stand up, Gary. There he is.
There he is. Happy birthday, Gary, and happy birthday, Jessica.
Yeah, I think you're giving him the benefit of the doubt saying he's 40 years old, though.
Well, I know. And plus, Jessica's about a half inch taller. We're trying to be kind.
Great job Gary does each and every week.
And speaking of great jobs, how about Terry Cook up front? All the regulars, Terry Cook, Crafton, Setzer, Starr, and Bliss. That's a top 5.
See again, Terry Cook is able to beat Robert Presley with the lap truck down into turn number 1. Matt Crafton has to race with him to get by. Oh, Corey gives around, he goes.
Round he goes, spinning around, and caution will come out again. And that'll be the 11th caution flag. As Gibbs gets the MB&A Chevy, has a flat left front tire, tries to get it refired, and he pulls across the racetrack.
There's Kevin Harvick in the 6th truck. We saw Corey Gibbs get in the back of Kevin Harvick earlier. I'd say that was probably returning the favor short track style right there, Don.
They don't do that, do they? I mean, if somebody gets hit, you don't pay them back, do you?
No, it's probably all accidental.
It's probably an incidental contact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's racing.
Absolutely.
It's a racing incident. Okay, let's see what happened here. Watch the 6 and the 20.
Little bit of contact there. A little bit of contact, and around Corey goes.
Yep, might have had some contact there. That'll bring out caution number 11. One more angle as they come off of turn 2. And the 20 goes around. Our record for caution flags was 15, set back in 1996. Mike Skinner won that race. We are working caution number 11. Just looking at another angle. Great camera work of this incident out at turn 2.
See Kevin get against him. He never turns him loose, and finally picks the rear off the truck off the ground, and around Corey goes.
And Ray?
Well, Jerry, Kevin Harvick's on his way to the garage. He's done for the day, not because he's tired of racing, but because NASCAR said you're not going to race anymore. And here's the reason. Not because he spun Coy Gibbs, but because he said on the radio before it happened, I'm going to go get him. So it was definitely intentional. NASCAR heard it on the radio, and they've said, Kevin, you're done for the day.
And so the lesson there is don't ever tell anybody what you're going to do, I guess.
That's exactly right.
I mean, obviously you shouldn't do that,
yeah.
But...
even if it goes from week to week, you're not supposed to tell what you're going to do. But now, isn't Kevin on probation from that altercation he had with Greg Biffle at Bristol?
That's a different series, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's NASCAR probation.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, here we go again. Here's some Bill Lester's on board, and there was the contact between Kevin Harvick. Reigning Winston Cup Rookie of the Year and Busch Series champion, and he will go behind the wall. There is Kevin climbing out of his truck. Making his second start this year. He planned to run a number of the combination events.
We're hearing that Kevin's been called to the NASCAR trailer to have a talk with him. As a matter of fact, what you see right there is the top of the NASCAR trailer. So he not only has been called to the trailer, he parked at the trailer.
Well, he parked so he wouldn't have far to walk. I think he probably figured that was coming. So contact on the racetrack, and NASCAR really has to keep a pretty tight reins. I mean, things can get out of hand on a short track anyway.
Well, they sure can. You're going to have a whole lot of contact, and you're going to have a lot of inadvertent contact. You're going to have some guys that are going to try to rough some people up. And sometimes feathers get ruffled, and unfortunately, you try to pay back, and these things happen.
Indeed, so they will have a discussion in the big red truck. How about for all the latest news and notes from the world of motorsports, and for all the latest from the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, visit rpm.espn.com, keyword trucks. Find out news from NHRA, kart, and Supercross, and of course the headline making NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So be sure to log on to rpm.espn.com.
Matt Crafton got a break that time. Billy Lester was the first truck on the inside. Matt was able to beat Billy down into turn number 1. These caution flags really do help Matt Crafton, who got no tires, and Terry Cook, who got 2 tires, because these Goodyear tires are so good, when they cool off during the caution flag, they come back almost as good as brand new.
And that conversely works against a little bit Dennis Setzer, who needs their tires to heat up and wear out. Setzer slides his truck out of turn 2. Meanwhile, let's visit with Kevin Harvick. I think Amy's caught up with him.
Well, Kevin, was it a payback?
No, I mean, Andy just blew up down there, and there was water everywhere, and he got loose, and I didn't want to get spun out like I did before, so I stayed in the gas, and I think they think I was retaliating. I don't know what the deal was, but that's okay.
Now, Kevin, they're saying they heard you on the radio say you wanted to get Coy back, and that may have been why they parked you. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's a BS, because I didn't say anything on the radio. I just asked if he'd let us go by, and the 8 let us go by, and the spotters were conversing up there to talk about everything that was getting ready to go on the restart, and that's okay.
All right, Kevin, you're going to win one of these truck races, you know, but how quickly will you be back in this truck with us?
Well, right now, I mean, we're probably going to run most of the companion events, and, you know, we had the best truck, I think, today. Just made a stupid mistake and got back there with all the junk and had a plug wire fall off. So we made one up, got spun out, and that's the way it goes.
All right, Kevin Harvick, he's always having fun in the truck. Whether or not it was a retaliation, he was smart enough to park his truck right here at the NASCAR transporter.
Terry Cook up front has led more laps here than he has led ever on the short tracks in his career. Cook now being shown as having led 67 laps.
I think Matt Crafton right now is feeling the effects of having more laps on his tires than everybody else. You see Bobby Dowder, who having a great run in the 6th position right now, going after Matt Crafton. You know, Doc, talking about Kevin Harvick there, so many times in these races, you get hit in the back because you slow down. We saw that happen to Randy Tolson. He got hit in the back because he slowed down for an accident in front of him. Now, Kevin Harvick, in fact, was, but he was up against Coy Gibbs, and if he, you know, it could have been unintentional.
I mean, and if he backs out, he's got a legitimate rep. If he backs out of the throttle, he's going to get plowed from behind. So the only one who knows are the people in those trucks. There is David Starr, who bounces off the curb, and he's into Coy Gibbs, and Gibbs will go up across the right. Who else is going to hit me now?
You know, it used to be, Doc, you could run over the curbs here and never even feel it, but now with the soft front springs these trucks run and the aerodynamics these trucks have, the big front sway bars, when you hit a curb, they're very, very difficult to control, and we've seen that 2 or 3 times today. Guys running over the curb, getting the things jacked out of shape, and running into the truck on the outside of them.
There's David Starr in the 75, Mike Bliss in the 16. As they are being shown in 3rd and 4th spot. Setzer is 2nd, but the man they're chasing is Terry Cook. Power Stroke Diesel showing the way at Martinsville. Back in a moment. Well, Tuesday, Jay Moore hosts the Action Sports and Music Awards, fueled by Mountain Dew. The best of action sports honored in one special night. Live performances by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jay-Z, and more. Coverage begins with the Green Carpet Special at 8:30 Tuesday on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com. The Action Sports and Music Awards coming your way on Tuesday. And speaking of action, we got more here at Martinsville as the yellow is out again. That will make it the 12th time today as the 68 of Rodney Sawyers out of Ridgeway, Virginia, spins his Dodge around. The Smirnoff Ice Blue Mist Water Dodge brings out the yellow. And a moment ago, we were in commercial, and we got a new leader. This Axiom Chevy made a pass.
Dennis on the looking right behind Terry Cook. Little nudge there, gets him a little bit out of the groove. Dennis is going to pull up on the inside. He gets a nose up underneath him. Terry has to give him room. Go down in the corner, beats him down in the corner on the bottom of the racetrack. A good textbook short track pass, Doc.
And in football, we call that the bump and run.
And again, that's four fresher tires versus Terry Cook's 2 fresher tires. So that's a 4-tire versus 2-tire pass also.
And you saw Setzer's last win coming last June at Memphis. And Carlos Contreras, that's a great run going. Just a moment ago, pulled down pit road in the Hot Wheels Dodge, and there was some smoke from underneath the rear of the truck. And typically at Martinsville, when you see smoke coming out of the rear, you think of one of 2 things: gear and brakes.
Exactly right. This is probably the toughest racetrack on the circuit for gears and for brakes. And we have a tendency to lose a lot of gears at this racetrack, more so than any other racetrack that we run.
And well, Howard Comstock and Company, we'll check it out. We'll check with them in just a moment. We'll take a quick break and come back. It is Setzer, Cook, Bliss, Starr, and Daughter, the top 5. A stern look from 42-year-old Dennis Setzer, who has command of the field here as laps are winding down. 35 to go at Martinsville, Virginia. 215 complete, and Setzer has come from back of the pack. 33rd starting spot in the Axiom Chevy to show the way. He has not won yet in 2002. His last win coming in June of last year at Memphis, Tennessee.
Be a great day for Dennis Setzer. Crew Chief John Monson just came on board there this year. If they can hold on to this thing, but it's not over yet. He's got some great guys behind him. Terry Cook, Mike Bliss, David Starr, another great run. And Bobby Dotter up in the 5th position. What a terrific run for Bobby Dotter.
Can't say enough about the Gene. Here's John Wood in the Navy machine. The Navy battling through. Inside, Matt Crafton. Side by side is Wood and Crafton.
All those trucks are out there battling for position. Every one of those trucks in the lead lap.
Get a good run. You got him outside.
How about the youngster, 20 years of age, John Wood, hanging tough with the Navy colors. Shoving, pushing, Menards and Navy going at it. Martinsville Speedway, don't you love it?
Absolutely. You know John Wood would love to have a great run here, 25 minutes from home.
1 year anniversary of his very first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series start. He began his career here in the trucks a year ago. And here's a possible pass for second spot.
Mike Bliss on the outside, going to pass Terry Cook. Here comes David Starr.
That is second, third, and fourth. Bobby Dotter, by the way, back in 5th. Here comes Starr on the inside of Cook. Whoa, there's nearly contact as Starr jams on the brakes, or else he would have gotten Cook in the quarter panel.
Good heads-up move by David Starr. He definitely would have spun out, turned it down in there, and probably himself. I think Terry's feeling the effects now again of the 2 tires. He's done a great job. He held the lead for a long time, but I think the 2 tires are going to get him.
And there's Crawford, Quapple, Brendan Gaughan, Jason Leffler. Now Crawford goes to the inside, and there's contact. Crafton trying to hang on. He hangs on. Brendan Gaughan taps Leffler.
Now the contact between Leffler and Matt Crafton. Brendan Gaughan now on the inside. Kenny Schrader's in that battle too. He's still in the lead lap. There's Kenny's Federated Auto Parts Chevrolet.
Folks, if you like this, tune in to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We got 19 more of these things coming your way.
Kenny Schrader says, I've got damage from my buddy Andy Petrie, so I'm going to rub on somebody. It doesn't matter to me.
I got to find somebody to hit. Let's see that bumping one more time here.
They're coming off the corner. See Matt Crafton run into from behind by Brendan Gaughan. Did a great job of saving the truck. Brendan had to go to the inside and miss Matt Crafton. Jason Leffler had already committed to the inside. They made contact.
You're keeping score at home at 62 into the 68, off the 2, into the
88. We got an 88 in there somewhere.
88, yep.
Now there's some contact between the 14 and the 50.
Right.
That's a battle for the 6th position right there. John Wood in the 50 Navy truck in 6th. Rick Crawford in the 7th position.
You think his granddad Glenn and his mom and dad Eddie and Carol are enjoyed watching their young man doing this?
It all depends. I'm not sure they're enjoying it right there with a little contact, but he's having a great run, though, doing a terrific job.
But he's taking it, but he's also dishing it out a little bit, so that's pretty good for a young driver. Here goes Crawford back by. Now we'll see if Wood can catch him again.
Down inside of 25 laps to go, so every pass right now is probably going to mean a position. So,
and there Travis Quapple now tries to come up and make a move. Quapple, as we got some action back in a turn, there is Brian Rose in the Ford truck again, the Sinclair Energies Dodge, and that will bring out caution number 13, putting us 2 away from tying the record. Not a record we want to tie, by the way.
Brian's going the wrong way again on the racetrack. Is that parallel parking there, Doc? I'm
not sure if he was making a statement on his dislike for someone or just trying to find room to turn around.
It is very difficult to have enough room to get turned around.
All right, from the Federated Auto Parts onboard camera, there's Matt Crafton on the inside. Up, yep. And Matt right in the S of Sun Clears where he got him, and now we know why the 4 pulled up across the racetrack and nosed up toward Matt Crafton. And how about our leading crew chief, John Monson, down in the Dennis Setzer pits.
And after having the infraction, after qualifying, starting at the back of the pack, John, you seem to have made all the right calls, giving Dennis those 4 tires on that last pit stop. Is that indeed why Dennis is running so well right now?
Well, we made a couple other changes this morning. The truck was good yesterday, but we felt like we needed to be just a little bit better because of our starting position. We just made a mistake, and it was something that I wish it never happened, but Dennis has made up for it for us.
What do you tell your driver in these last 20 laps?
I'm not going to tell him a whole lot because he's so smooth and he's raced here enough. He's got like a home field advantage, so I feel pretty good about it. There's still 20 laps to go. Don't ever count your chickens, right?
All right, you guys. Well, they're confident, but not too confident. This is short track racing. Let's not forget.
And Amy, Dennis Setzer, 175 late model wins on short track, 7 short track titles. He won a 100-lapper here at this famed Martinsville Speedway back in 1992. Trying to get that big one here, though, today. Back in just a moment. Our live coverage of exciting slam-bang NASCAR Craftsman truck action from Martinsville Speedway being brought to you by the 4,000 CarQuest auto parts stores across North America. And by Armor All Protecting Wipes. Armor All Shine and Protection now in a wipe. And remember, if we go a little bit long, RPM today coming up tomorrow morning and tomorrow night with Watson and Company. We'll have highlights and interviews, post-interviews, and all the tussles in the pits after the race. We'll update everything that's happening there. And, of course, weeknights, our buddy John Kernan, all the action from Motorsports. And speaking of penalties, there's the 88 truck, Matt Crafton, being penalized on pit road. Amy, what is the penalty?
Well, initially it was going to be a 2-lap penalty. Now they said they'll hold him for 3 laps. Why? Because they are blaming Matt Crafton for the 4 being spun out. Crafton's version of the story is that he had seen the 4 was getting the move over flag lap after lap. He wasn't getting out of the way. And he was simply fed up. He'll pay the price of a 3-lap penalty.
Oh, wow. And Matt Crafton had such a great run going. Now he will come out 3 laps back, but that's such is the nature of the short tracks NASCAR style. Back to the green flag. 18 laps to go. Can Setzer hold on? You Mike Bliss fans, Bliss has recorded the fastest lap of the race earlier in the race, so he definitely has a quick truck.
Again, Dennis Setzer was able to clear Robert Presley 2 turns before he got to turn 1. Mike Bliss was not able to. That's what gives Dennis Setzer his half a dozen truck length lead right now.
We are closing in on a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series record. The furthest back a driver has started and won in the history of the series. Jimmy Hensley started back in 30th in Nashville, Tennessee in August of 1998. Setzer started 33rd, and here is Bill Lester again. Having trouble in this Dodge. And the 75, David Starr goes around. 14th caution flag of the day. David Starr, a Houston, Texas driver, driving for Wayne and Connie Spears, spins that truck around. He was being shown in the 4th position.
Got it going, though, stayed in the lead lap. So right now we only have 12 trucks in the lead lap, on the lead lap. So that David will fall back to the 12th position. With nothing to lose, he may come on pit road now because, again, he's the last truck on the lead lap, so he really does not lose anything.
And Bill Lester may not have too many fond memories of Martinsville. He certainly has had his troubles today, but my goodness, I mean, they get the car or with the truck jacked up. Let's see if we can see what happened to Bill here a moment ago.
Pretty hard contact with the outside wall. Looked like he came off the corner. Gonna watch for David Starr there. There's David. He looks like he might have got tapped by Robert Presley as they were trying to get back to the caution flag. Tough break for David Starr, who was well up into the top 5. There, just as we thought, he came down pit road, put some tires on, nothing to lose.
And there's a look at the DNF history in Martinsville. Multiple mishaps. That's why you might say we only have 12 trucks on the lead lap, and David Starr is the last truck of those on the lead lap. As you take a look at Bill Lester's crew now trying to get his truck back up to speed. Remind you, coming up next will be Major League Soccer, San Jose Earthquakes and Kansas City Wizards, as we get these final laps of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series event in from Martinsville. So you folks tuning in for soccer, stay tuned. Some exciting Major League Soccer coming up next here on ESPN2. Hope you enjoy the final few laps of NASCAR Craftsman Truck action from Martinsville, Virginia.
There's Mike Bliss there, our second place runner. Former winner here on the Craftsman Truck Series. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Phil Bliss has been on the radio saying that his truck's good enough to win today. Now, keep in mind, they've only made 1 pit stop today on lap 125, took on 4 tires. and made no adjustments. But the big news is the fact that his former crew chief, Dave Fuge, will be allowed back after a long-term NASCAR suspension starting on May 1st. So this team has committed itself to run the entire NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series this year. So we will have Mike Bliss and IWX all throughout the year. And after May 1st, his former crew chief, Dave Fuge, will be back in the racetrack.
Indeed. So, and how about a great run support trooper? That's the recovery support service for Gene Christensen there. How about the run by Bobby Dotter? There's a looking trooper on the side of that truck.
And look at the lack of damage on Bobby's truck. He's got a lot of experience, and he has run this race with hardly any battle scars on that truck.
And that golden retriever is still smiling. He hasn't scared it at all yet today on the side of that truck, but great job by Bobby Dotter. Second generation driver. His dad, Bob Dotter, a former 3-time ARCA Remax champion. Bobby out of Chicago. Former NASCAR Busch Series competitor. Finished second in the Winston West points 2 years ago out in the West Coast. Won 4 times there. Finished second to Brendan Gaughan. And speaking of not so clean trucks, Brendan Gaughan, now it would be hard to believe that that truck right there is actually in 9th place.
That's what I wanted to say when we saw that graphic on how many vehicles will fall out of a race because of accidents. That doesn't tell the whole story, because if you're running around the racetrack, no matter how much damage at the finish, you're not listed out. There's a lot of trucks like Brendan Gaughan's right now. Most races, that truck would be listed out with an accident.
If he called his insurance company, they'd say, don't even fix that one. Just throw that one away. We'll get another one. But Brendan Gaughan, the Napa Auto Parts Dodge, in 9th spot. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the Advance Auto Parts 250. Fine folks from Advance involved here at Martinsville Speedway. And our next truck race that's coming your way from St. Louis, Missouri. The Busch 200 on Sunday, May 5th, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. It was a Dodge domination last year. We'll head out there. Kenny Schrader will be back. We mentioned Mike Bliss will be there. The gateway to St. Louis coming your way, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series style.
I'm glad we have a couple weeks between this race and St. Louis. Now that'll give the guys a little chance for the tempers to cool.
Well, plus he's going to have time for everybody to get a number and get inside that big red truck down there. There's Angie Wilson. And Angie has no brakes, so she's come on the pit road. Angie, by the way, will run the remaining 20 events of the year. She will run for Rookie of the Year, so glad to have Angie on board. Only the second woman competitor in the history of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Started racing in the go-karts and dirt racing back when she was 13 years of age. She's been running the NASCAR Goodies Dash Series.
That's a great series. That's actually the series I started in when it was called the Baby Grand Division back in 1978. The Goodies Dash Series, and had an awful lot of fun there. Fortunate enough to win a few races. Was able to move on to the Late Model Sportsman Series, which was a full runner of the Busch Series.
Absolutely. Great crowd on hand here at Martinsville. Hope you fans that are watching this today, and they're telling us probably one of the biggest Saturday crowds they have ever had here to watch exciting action, and we are glad to have you with us. And again, a reminder, those of you tuning in for Major League Soccer, that's coming up just momentarily, as we are less than 10 laps away from the checkered flag.
Inside of 10 laps to go, single file restart. No lap trucks to worry about for these leaders. Look at Bobby Dotter on the outside of Rick Crawford.
Here goes Dotter on the outside. That is for 4th position.
See if Bobby can hang and look at John Wood sticking his nose up in there. Said, please, Rick, go on so I can get by Bobby Dotter.
It is Chevy, Ford in the top 4. Setzer, Bliss in Chevys, Cook and Crawford in Fords.
Bobby's not going to be able to make that outside pass work. Look at Rick Crawford, look on the inside of Terry Cook.
And Crawford gives Cook a nudge up in turn 3.
Trying to get him off the bottom of the racetrack.
Cook up off the racetrack. Here's Crawford on the inside. He got Cook a little bit out of shape. And Crawford on the inside to make the pass in turn 1. Now Rick Crawford will take 3rd spot away. The door may be open for Bobby Dotter to take the 4th spot. Here is Dotter on the inside.
Bobby's able to get in the throttle, stay on the bottom of the racetrack, drive straight off the corner, and able to get on by Terry Cook. Great move by Bobby Dotter.
Absolutely. That moves Cook back to 5th. Now he gets a little bit of a hammer from the 2 truck of Jason Leffler.
But he has to thank Rick Crawford for opening the door for him.
5 laps to go in Martinsville Speedway. Dennis Setzer from back of the pack. Battle for 9th spot. Here is David Starr, who restarted back The last truck on the lead lap in 12th position, and Starr is coming in a hurry.
He was able, because he was the last truck on the lead lap, he came in the pits and got tires, so he has fresher tires right now than anybody else on the racetrack.
4 laps to go. That's Kenny Schrader in the 52 truck in 11th spot. John Wood in the Navy machine, being shown in 10th position. David Starr in 9th.
David Starr now chasing Brendan Gaughan. He only has 3 laps to go. He has better tires right now than Brendan Gaughan, but we'll see if he has enough time to catch him.
Back up front, Dennis Setzer trying to hang on for 2 more laps. 2 to go for 42-year-old Newton, North Carolina driver. Here's the battle, bumping and shoving, Leffler and Terry Cook. Cook holds the position. Leffler wants it.
Look at David Starr on the inside of Brendan Gaughan.
That's for 8th spot.
Side by side again. David Starr has fresher tires than Brendan Gaughan.
White flag at turn 5. Final lap. There is Setzer out of turn 2. Bliss in second. Crawford third. Down out of turn 4. 42-year-old Dennis Setzer wins at Martinsville Speedway. Setzer, Bliss, Crawford, Donner, and Terry Cook in the top 5. 14 caution flags.
The crew chief John Monson up on top of the box celebrating.
Let's go down to Amy East. Amy?
High fives all over the place. Congratulations.
Thank you. These guys needed that after yesterday.
All right, and he got it.
Dennis Setzer gets his 7th career victory. He had not won since June of a year ago in Memphis, Tennessee. He sets a record. No one has come from further back in the field to win a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Setzer from 33rd to the front. For Phil Parsons, Ray Dunlap, and Amy East, I'm Jerry Putz. Congratulating Dennis Setzer on his win in the Advanced Auto Parts 250. Remember, coming up next, Major League Soccer. Join us next Sunday, May 5th in St. Louis for the Busch 200 at Gateway International. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Once again, congratulations to Dennis Setzer.